Chapter 10, Part C, briefs. Misrepresentation, two kinds. A false statement of fact, usually made in the negotiation before the contract is made. Statement must be false, so highlight must be false. It must have induced the party to enter into the contract, highlight induced. Yeah. It must also be one which would have induced a reasonable person to enter into the contract, highlight reasonable person. If any one of these 3 points is not proven, the misrepresentation will not be sufficient to render the contract voidable. So basically, three facts must be proven. Number one, false statement. Number two, inducement. And number three, a reasonable person. Right? So basically you have induced to a reasonable person.
Those of last one same ही
Yeah, it looks same, I know. But if any of these 3 points is not proven, the misrepresentation will not be sufficient to render mean give the contract, to make the contract voidable. Number one, innocent misrepresentation. Number two, false statement is made without knowing it is a false. Highlight that. Innocent party can sue to rescind contract. Before completion, cannot sue for damages. So they can sue to cancel the contract before completion, but cannot sue for damages. Fraudulent misrepresentation. First one was innocent misrepresentation, right? This is fraudulent. Occurs when a person making the false statement knows it is false. First one was he doesn't know whether it is false or not. He just make it. He said, how big is the lot? 15,000 square. Lot is only 8,000. But he didn't know. He didn't look at the contract. One, he has already listed a property. He knows how big it is, and he still trying. You understand, right? So occur when a person making false knows it's false or says it recklessly, means carelessly, and does not care whether it is true or false. Sue to rescind the contract. So he can sue to rescind the rescind means cancel contract at any time and sue for
damages.
If it's innocent, so then only you can sue for sue for cancellation.
Not for the damage.
Not for damages. But if it's a fraudulent, then you can sue for damage.
Both things.
Yeah. Disclosure of defects. Latent defects. Latent defects are that which are crucial to the use, crucial to the use and enjoyment of the property. Had the purchaser known about the defects, he would not have entered into the contract. They cannot be discovered by reasonable inspection. So can't be discovered. For example, termites, buried oil tanks. You understand, right? If it's a buried oil tank, naturally it costs so much money to bring it out. So that's why the property value goes down, right? Termites look solid, but Okay, so latent means hidden. Means hidden. Patent means visible. Visible defect to the eye. Buyer beware. Better check under the rugs for a damage.
ਹੁਣ latent defect ਸੀਗਾ property ਪਰ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਨਹੀਂਗਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ
So you can sue him.
Yeah. Or you can cancel the contract.
You can cancel?
No, you can't cancel, but you can sue. Sue for damages, right?
Or after completion.
Yeah. So other defects. Builders and contractors. There are implied conditions. Are implied. That the law implies the house is or will be built in proper manner. Using proper materials. If these are not met, purchaser cannot cancel contract but sue for damages. So basically, if it's a new home, it's supposed to follow the certain conditions, right? Certain materials. If they don't, you can't cancel the contract, but you can sue for damages. So one question mostly come for latent or patent. Latent, hidden, patent, visible. Like a paint, carpet, which you can see. And the other one comes about mistakes. Common mistake, both parties to a contract make the same mistake, highlight same, with a fundamental term of the contract. Entered into a contract but cabin burned down 6 months ago. So you made a deal, right? But the cabin burned down 6 months ago. So there was nothing to sell when you entered into the contract. It's void. Right? So if there is before, remember the keyword before.
That is common.
Common is it's common. And then is a mutual mistake. Both parties of the contract make a fundamental mistake about the contract, but each make a
Different.
highlight different. Common means same, right? And mutual means different. London, England, but it's London, Ontario. Right? One in England, one in Ontario. Okay. Unilateral mistake. So other party knows. One party to the contract makes a fundamental mistake about the contract and the other party knows of it and does nothing to correct it.
Yeah.
So that's one-sided. Okay. So next one is mostly this one comes in the exam is a common mistake.
It is a common name.
Common and frustration. Frustration if the house burned down after and the common is before. And duress and undue influence and unconscionable transaction. Duress. One person is forced into entering a contract against their will. Basically actual threat. You put a gun on the head, right? Undue influence. Another person in a dominant position adversely influence a person over the party to the. You know, sometimes you have somebody in the family, you know, who is undue influence, right? Or you better do it, right?
ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਵਾਈਫ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲੜ ਪਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਲੈਣਾ ਹੀ ਲੈਣਾ
Undue influence, somebody
ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ divorce ਦੇ ਦੂੰਗੀ, right? ਇਹ ਵੀ ਤਾਂ undue influence ਹੀ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ.
Yeah,
You can prove it if you can prove it, right?
Yeah. So basically means this basically means somebody. This basically means
it can happen.
That has adverse influence. Adverse means which is not good, right? Adverse influence. Basically, one happened for good, one happened for bad. Adverse. So the next is unconscionable transactions. Proof of the substantial unfairness, unfair, of the bargain obtained by the stronger, taking advantage of the weaker, right? Contract can be cancelled.
Okay.
For example, one of my realtors bought the property of the second realtor. You don't know, poor guy, right? So, you know, he had a BC hydro line going behind the property. It's a land use property. It's all for 359. So 359 you can't buy it. Right? But he sold it, right? But so there's an unconscionable transaction. He didn't pursue it because then he had to pay penalty for a mortgage. $20,000.
Oh shit.
You understand, right? So he basically lost. And the guy, both parties did it. So with you know, you think, you know, work for the same company, you know, something you don't do it, right? So unconscionable means take advantage of weaker. Okay? And next we're going to talk about termination of the contract. One is the performance, specific performance. So agreement to waive performance. So agreement, both parties agreed to waive. Performance means basically you don't perform. You make a deal, but the other party doesn't give you the possession now. So you take him to court, and the judge makes you perform. Non-fulfillment of a conditional proceeding. So basically you didn't fulfill the subject, right? Frustration after contract but before completion, house burns down. Breach of a contract. When the contractual promise is not performed, the promise has the right to recover any damages suffered because of the breach. But this doesn't necessarily mean that the contract is ended. The party in breach must usually perform his contractual obligation.